Okay, Impact. I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to make this clear. I didn't hate the show. But I'm going to tell you truthfully, that wasn't enough show. This ain't no joke. There was not enough show on Impact. It felt like there was dead air in main parts of it. I know you're not going to agree with me. Not everyone's going to, and I don't expect you to. It's fine. But if I'm evaluating Impact on this episode, it felt like there was dead air. It felt like they were missing way more content, and they needed more. Now, understandable that they put a vault match in the show. Maybe it was due to the fact that Ace Austin and Chris Bay were supposed to do double work and do another match. That's understandable. That is fully understandable. But it still felt like they needed more to the show. I'm sorry. If you thought I'm wrong, you can leave a comment. I don't have a problem with a nice, fair discussion of why you feel like it was fine, but I still feel like they're missing a lot. Let's start. The first match, Tasha Steelz and her neck brace partner versus Marsha Sandwich and Jordynne Grace. Did you actually believe that this was going to end any other way? Guys, Tasha Steelz with Alicia Edwards. I'm not against Alicia. She's a good manager. Sometimes she can wrestle, and it's as long as it means something, it's fine. But at this point, they still don't got any women on the show. You guys are going to say, dude, they got plenty of women. Yeah, for certain things. What is Spitfire doing? Not much. They don't have a tag division for Spitfire. What about Jordynne Grace handing over the title to Marsha, which is fine. I didn't have a problem with her handing the title over to Marsha. But now we're going to have the same problem that we had with Jordynne Grace. We're going to have with Marsha Slamovich. Unless Marsha's going to do what they did for NXT, and she's going to NXT, which I don't see happening. Marsha Slamovich is going to deal with the main roster, which is like this. Not this. Not this. This. And people say, well, that makes it more focused. No, it does not. It makes it more limited. I'm sorry. The main roster of TNA Impact for the women, for the knockouts, is very sparse. You got women who are supposed to be in the damn tag division doing double or triple work in the main title picture. One of the main reasons that we got tired of what was going on in WWE was because they kept using the same damn women over and over again. It got stale. The one reason why Jordynne Grace has always been good, but now very good, is because TNA decided, counting on how much they're getting from TKO WWE, they're letting Jordynne Grace go over to NXT, and Rosemary for that matter, and do a little work there. So they're getting a little bit of interest, but then that's all they got. They do not have a large roster of women. We're having the same matches over and over again. Look at Bound for Glory. I said it myself. The Marsha Slamovich and Jordynne Grace match I knew was going to be great, but I didn't want to see it. I wanted to see someone from NXT come to WWE and face Jordynne at Bound for Glory. Natalya seemed to be the best bet, not because she's the greatest wrestler, but overall, she's been the main roster, she's been in NXT, she knows how to work, she's not one of the most popular women, even though she's well known and does have a Guinness Book of World Records, but it doesn't matter. She's not here. She's here. And that wouldn't have hurt WWE, and that wouldn't have hurt TNA. But no, we got Marsha, which is not a bad thing. I still love Marsha, but we needed more. This match, I wasn't that interested because I knew what was going to happen. And since Savannah Evans didn't come out to stop anything, which could have brought some interest, she's back. She nailed Lu Yang Lee. I believe her name is Lu Yang Lee, the former Xia Li. She nailed the crap out of her. I would have thought maybe she'd come out and nail them too, to be able to give a level of dominance. No, the most she did was talk in the back with Gia, saying, I've been stuck at home for 8 months and I'm tired of this. I'm getting mine. Well, why didn't you just say I got injured And it's not that I was left at home, because let's be honest, if she said just sitting home doing nothing, if it doesn't mean she wasn't injured, because they didn't say she was, they had nothing for her to do, which makes it worse for the creative team if it's someone that's hearing this. Because we haven't seen her for a long time. Then she doesn't, it's stupid for her to have said that. That I was just sitting home doing nothing. Not that I was sitting home injured. So the writing team screwed up there. They should have said she was injured. Or they could have said, I went off to some other place to get better. I went to grow. Something to make her seem more important. But no, I was stuck home for 8 months. Not saying that she was injured either. So that didn't help either. Next. Wendy Choo versus a Rosemary. A no DQ match. Let me give it to you like this. I knew this was coming. I felt either one or two things was going to happen. Either their storyline was ended, or Wendy was going to have a match with Rosemary. I thought one or the other. I really thought it might have been finally over, but we get this match. And we couldn't even use it at a pay-per-view or Impact Plus show. We couldn't even get it at Turning Point. At least then it would have given Wendy something special. Look, let's make it clear. Wendy's already jobbed at Tatum Paxley. Now, I want to say this now. I have not seen NXT. Well, let me give it to you. The reason I'm botching here. I didn't see NXT. So I don't know what has happened there. I know things happen. They did mention Jordan Grace had a wonderful match. I do not know how good it was. My guess is that it was a good show, but it was a nostalgia show. That's the reason why I didn't care. And I know someone left me a comment on my last video in Dynamite saying that he was surprised that Dynamite got beat by NXT. I'm not surprised that Dynamite got beaten by NXT. I'm sorry, I'm not surprised. As I said, the show was a bit more focused, but NXT was going to be Dynamite, not because TKO WWE is far superior than TNA. Or AEW for that matter. It's due to the fact that TNA has just switched over to a new system with a new leader who doesn't know anything about wrestling. And AEW does not have Cody Rhodes, does not have CM Punk. The two people many people wanted to care about. Now Bryan Danielson is now done. And yes, we got Powerhouse of Hobbs back, but it doesn't really matter. Because the writing is still not great. And we still don't know if Shane McMahon is coming in. We got Ricochet, who's already been used. We got Bobby Lashley. He's going to get used. Immediately, they just rush off and they're not booking correctly. So I'm not surprised. But honestly, you would think that counting on TKO WWE didn't make a deal that, well, you can have our people, but you can't have them on Impact Plus. Just the regular shows. But we had them on pay-per-views. We had them on Impact Plus shows. Why not set up Rosemary dealing with Wendy, giving Wendy something special? No. We get this match now. I didn't expect Wendy to win. She didn't. Now what? Wendy is now jobbed twice on NXT. Well, she jobbed once on NXT. Now she's jobbed again to Rosemary within 2 weeks. What does that mean for her? I don't know. Moving on. I will say this. I'm not going to talk about the match between Santana and Ali. That match was from June 15th. So I'm not even going to talk about it. But I am going to say this. Look, if this is where ABC was supposed to be, I can understand this. Flat out. If ABC was supposed to do a match here, and now Chris Bay is still out, they had to fill in with something. So fine. I'm alright with that. That's perfectly alright. But I'm going to say this. Because Impact pulled this as well. Impact Wrestling did. When they were nearing the end of the year, instead of trying to give us something interesting before the end of the year, they started showing us, guess what? Replays of stuff they used to do. Because they're winding down. At this point, I wouldn't recommend them doing that. Because you got rid of Scott, and even though MLP, Maple Leaf Pro is not really there yet. They did do 2 shows, which wasn't bad. But let me give it to you like this. If Scott D'Amore was able to get people from TNA coming over there and AEW showing up, he's got a lot of credit. I would be worried, TNA. Because if he can do this, you got a problem. You got a problem. And doing something like this, if this wasn't where ABC was supposed to be, if this spot where they put this vault match was set up, fine. They got to do something. But the next show cannot have another vault match in it. Because I cannot believe they could not replace ABC with another tag team. They got the helping hands. They can do Slater and they can do Kushida. They can replace them. But if they do not, and another vault match comes up, this is just filler. And it's a waste of time. And that's terrible, terrible, terrible booking. Moving on. We got Rachel of Elegance versus Jody Threat. I knew this was coming. It had to come. I'm not surprised. They're doing something with Rachel and Ash to deal with Spitfire because Spitfire has no challengers. There is no tag division in TNA. There is none. The Knockouts don't have a tag division. Now they only got 2 women again. 2 sets of women. Now I know people are going to say, well, dude, look what happened with the Motor City Machine Guns and 3D. They managed to keep it up. Well, guess what? With no disrespect to any one of those women, you're talking about 4 guys who are known to be the best in the business. Now you're talking about someone brand new and a Rachel, not Rachel, I don't know why I said Rachel, Heather of Elegance. With a Ash of Elegance, who's always been a middle-of-the-road wrestler. You got Spitfire, who is light, but they need a good tag team to be bouncing something off of, and they need a storyline to help them. None of that. So the tag division is empty. They needed more women, and they got none. And you cannot tell me that they're going to start doubling up with Jordan Grace and the champion right now. It's dumb. Guess who won? You know who. Jody Threat. Now it's 1 apiece. Let's see how long it'll be before they have that final match because they're going to have to. Finally, well, let me give it to you like this. When it came to Santana and First Class, it was interesting. It was. It was interesting to see that they approached him and he said, what, boy, get out my damn face. That is a true New Yorker. He's from my neck of the woods, Manhattan, where I grew up. He basically said it's simple. I just took down the system. Why would I deal with your sorry asses? That's a New Yorker for you. If we can handle our own business, why the blue fuck would we work with someone that said we can make you better when we can do it ourselves? Now, mind you, I'm a very humble person. I mean, I can have my moments where I can get a little rowdy. I don't do it often. It's very rare. But I do know most New Yorkers, they love clout. They got attitude. If you haven't met one, we don't take no shit from nobody. And counting on what borough the person's from is how you're going to get your ass beat up. Because in the Bronx, we'll beat your ass and then we will talk shit to you. In Brooklyn, they will beat your ass, talk shit, and then beat your ass again. And then get angry that you had to make them beat your ass again and then talk shit again. And then they beat your ass again. I'm not kidding. They'll do that. Not if they don't shoot you first. But you get my point. He didn't need them. And now, I don't know how he's going to survive. Rivaro is going to get his ass handed to him. Sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. But Casey is about to get his ass kicked. Now, did I like to talk about Macklin towards a Josh Alexander? It's fine. But what are the stakes? None. That's what's missing. They need a stipulation to the match. Finally, we get the final match of the night. We get Moose versus Speedball Mike Bailey. Moose has gone through every title. He's gotten the TNA title twice. He's gotten the Impact title, I think, at least twice. He has gotten the Grand Slam title twice, which they did say. He has been a tag champ, I believe. He's gone through almost all the titles except for the Digital Media Championship. and the X Division, which he's been wanting for a while. So now we get this match. Good match, the best match of the night. But I am upset that this didn't happen Turning Point. Because they should have left this for Turning Point to make Turning Point interesting. But they decided to do it here. They went on the premise of Moose messing up his right hand and Speedball messing up his left shin. In the end, 4 spears later, Moose wins the X Division title. He is now champion again, and the system has gold again. Great. But then when I saw Trent Seven came out, I going like, okay, when is it going to happen? Because the way they booked it, it really looked like Trent was about to turn. Or at least Speedball might turn on him. Maybe. But I did feel Trent might turn easily. And as he kissed him, gave him a hug, he go-natted that ass. And basically beat the shit, a little bit, of a Speedball Mike Bailey before throwing him out the ring, tearing off the shirt, which was a Speedball shirt, I believe, and then throwing it at him, and then he walks away. Done. Let me say this. Was this a good show? It was okay. But it needed more. Guys, I'm sorry. This show needed more. It felt like it was empty. And it could have used more. And seeing they put a damn vault match there. Now, mind you, again, I'm saying it. I don't know if ABC was going to do double work on this episode. They were going to do work on the last week episode when they did it on the 27th and the 28th. If they were going to do 2 matches back to back, that's one thing. But if they weren't, and now they're sticking vault matches in there because they're nearing the end of the year, that is a stupid move because they need more to make people care. And I know people say, well, they're selling out arenas, but the shows aren't better. Ratings haven't increased dramatically, counting if there are even any ratings you can even look at. I'm sorry, as someone who's been watching TNA for 14 years and has been reviewing it for 12. This isn't a great show. It was okay. But if they're just pretty much going to just coast until they reach next year and start Genesis, this is not the wisest thing to do because the writing team is acting freaking lazy. I don't care if it's near Thanksgiving and Christmas. Give us something before the end. Make sure we got an extra match with at least a little bit of story. I'm just saying. Peace.